This episode is all about our on-site duo, Ross and Darren. Ross is our lead on-site joiner. He's steady, skilled and full of intent. And alongside him is Darren, who joined us in January, and he is already proven himself with the delivery team. They are the team on the ground making it all happen. Here's Ross and Darren's story.
Ready?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, good, because I'm going to speak to you about Ross and Darren.
Ross and Darren, delivery
Ross
team.
and Darren. Ross and Dazza. Daz. Dar.
And Ross.
And Ross. Ross doesn't get abbreviated.
No.
Everyone else gets abbreviated, but Ross just stays
Ross has got
Ross. Ross has got clear boundaries. Does not appreciate nicknames. Right, okay, so I'm excited about doing this one because Ross is a dark horse of Gillies Mackay, 100%. He is a tricky little cookie for me. It's taken me 5 years, I'd say, to get to know Ross properly. And what an absolute joy that boy is. Honestly, I'm completely overtaken with surprise at everything that Ross is right now. I've never felt such satisfaction from getting to a place with somebody that I completely thought had absolutely no want or willingness to engage with me. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. So Ross is part of the influx post-COVID, and he's a big deal. He is now the lead on-site joiner, and he sort of superseded Callum in terms of that role. Callum's done a hell of a lot of work with Ross in terms of getting his skill set up and his quality of control and the G&M standard, and just his confidence in his ability to put these buildings up, to get him to a position where we offered him the position of lead on-site joiner. And this really has been Ross's year for getting to that performance stage. He has done incredible things throughout the year. There's the complexities of the buildings that we're doing right now, along with the introduction of the radiatas. He's the king of this. So there's nobody that's more experienced now in terms of the radiatas than Ross. And that's something that he should be massively proud of, because I am. The confidence I have in him for delivering these buildings to the quality and standard that I expect them to be done to. Ross handles it all. So he's excelling in his role, shall we say, and I'm really proud of how far he's come in terms of being able to lead, because I do remember very early on when we were back in business and I wanted to do a full day's appraisal, and this is the first time that I did this, and I've tried to do it every year since. And what that is an opportunity for me to see every single individual within the workplace and talk through their dreams and their aspirations, how they feel that they're getting on, and anything that they want to achieve going forward. So I take Ross on this walk around the farm. I like to walk with them when I'm talking with them, because I think it eases the sort of seriousness and the tension that could be there when people think they're coming in for a meeting. So we're having a wee walk and a chat, and Ross has been in the job not long, maybe 6 or 8 months, and we're chatting about how the role is going, what he finds good about it. Him and Callum's relationship as well, about being taught in this position. And I ask him, so going into the future, if you're thinking sort of 5 years from now, what is it that's important to you? Where do you want to be, type of thing? And Ross tells me about a little bit about his personal life and how important his partner Caitlin is to him, and the bond that they have there, and the life that he wants to build with her. And one of the goals was to own a home, to buy a house. And since then, Ross has achieved that one. Mm-hmm. And the other one was to lead his own team. And when I heard him say these things, I was like, God, there's some there is like proper depth here in terms of like, I'm actually getting somewhere with this conversation. And I was really surprised to have Ross be open with me when on first appearance, like Ross can feel very closed book. So having these conversations with him as we're walking around, I'm really starting to appreciate like the thought that he's putting into where he sees himself, where his life is. And I think knowing that he is aspiring to something within G&M, and that's something that would make him feel good about his future and his prospect, is a really like humbling feeling. And it's also something that I'm massively grateful for, because it shows me that what I'm building here in terms of culture, in terms of the business organization and structure, is worth it. Like, there's somebody that's just been in the job, very early stages, and already wants to see himself in a lead position in 5 years' time. That not only does he want to be in a lead position, but he still fucking wants to be here in 5 years' time. Like, that's a big deal. So yeah, so that was probably like my first little insight into this other side of Ross that you don't normally see day to day. So that's pretty cool, pretty cute. And it's something that I've like sort of held on to as I've built my relationship with Ross over the past years or so. Because when we do have conversation, it's difficult because I never see him. He's always out on site, and the chances that we do get to chat, I really just got to really take the moment there, like go all in, because I don't know when the next time I'm going to get to see him is. So it's always hard hitting, awkward as fuck questions that Ross is always a little bit caught off guard with. But it works because it just cuts the bullshit, and I know that the way that Ross is, he's not got time for bullshit. He really doesn't. Like, he doesn't like small talk in the sense of in terms of a conversation. Like, it doesn't understand the meaning of it. Like, what's the point? You know, just get to it. He needs to know, like most of them, like everyone, the whys of what it is that you're asking of him. And I take him very seriously when he shares what he's got to share with me. For a man of few words, like when he speaks, the power of that, like to just fucking listen, is important. And so I feel like our relationship as we've gone on together, especially since Callum's concentrating so much on CSR, and so like I am a lot to do with Ross's support, has blossomed beautifully. We've been through some really challenging times in terms of what we're meant to be doing expectation-wise in that role, and out with the role and stuff like that, just like working things out so I can understand where they're coming from and they can understand what I'm expecting. So we've been through all of that together. We've been through some emotional things together as well in that. And really found our place to understanding, which now, like the way that Ross, I can see that he trusts me, and he is open with me, which is a beautiful thing to be able to rely upon, especially when I have to trust him like unconditionally, with the reputation of the business, with the respect that we gain from our customers, knowing that he is the last point of contact in the customer's buying journey. Like, it's such a crucial element to the whole thing. And I do trust him implicitly with the customers and the reputation of the company. And I can't really, explain more than that without being actually out on site with him to know. But on the very few times that I've had to help out here or there, and I've got to share a journey with Ross, everything that he talks about, everything that's important to him, is the lifestyle and the home and the relationship that he has with his Mrs. Caitlin, and how important that is to him. And I know that as we see the pattern within our team members, that, when these things are important, when their morals are based on their families, that it bleeds into everything that they do at work. And that's why they are so sincere and proud to put their name to it. So Yeah, that's me and Ross, just in a nutshell. I think he's an amazing guy, and I'm really proud of what he does here.
And Ross is leading. Ross has got his team now.
Yeah,
which is Darren.
He's building out his team too.
Yeah.
So we've got Darren right now. So Darren came into us in January. And this was like off the back of like the way that CSR was going to sort of like hybrid into deliveries, but also focusing on CSR. And then Sorley went away to be a farmer. And so we needed a number two for Ross, effectively. So this is where Darren was handpicked by Callum and Ross, and he come from Homescape, which is a landscaping business that we work closely with. So we knew the work ethic would be there, and the way in which Darren has approached all of this in terms of the type of person he is just all in, just complete vulnerability throughout it all. He is so open and ready to learn, to receive feedback, to put into practice, and to keep building on his expertise and his journey. He does like just incredibly well. He's just so easy to look after and manage. Like when you go through induction with Gillies Mackay, and obviously when you're an on-site joiner, there's a huge amount of training that goes in, and it's quite a lengthy process, because you need to have like repetition in the buildings for you to gain enough experience to know exactly what it is you're doing. But because we have such a varied range of buildings, that repetition just takes time. It just, like, you know, you need to be like, I don't know, say 30 radius buildings in to know that you can absolutely nail how to finish the external of a radiata, for example. But that number of 30 buildings can take you 6 to 8 months, maybe a year, before you get that hands-on experience to get there. So like Darren knows that the process is long, and he knows that he has the full support and backing and patience from Ross to get it right. And I think when we were reviewing like his induction and his probationary period, I remember me and Chrissy chatting to him about something he was holding back on, and we were sort of like asking him like what's his feelings and his thought process around this. And Darren very cleverly told us, like in a very sort of honest way, that what he was feeling was a trepidation of confidence, where he wanted to be able to do something and he knew that he could, but he was fearful of the error, of making a mistake. And this is very early on, and we can see, like, you know, like that mentality is fairly common in the trade industry, because making a mistake can be crucial in terms of cost, time, and other people needing to help out. And when that happens, it can be very common for people to be given into trouble and to be shamed upon and all the rest of it. So when Darren was explaining this to Chrissy and I, me and Chrissy were like, we know what's going on here. And we were like, Darren, you just chap on. Just give it a shot, give it a try. And if it doesn't work out, Ross and Callum, they'll be there. But you have to let yourself accept that you might not get it right. And that's okay, because you need to be able to do it first to know how to do it better. And then in that moment, like that was what like Darren actually needed. He just needed that permission to give him that bit of confidence. And then ever since then, he's taken that completely on board, and that's his thing. Like he knows he's learning. He knows he can't know it straight away. He knows he's got to try. And that's really cool. And you can see the development in Darren's been great, because obviously like he's Ross's right-hand man. He knows his roles and responsibilities when it comes to supporting Ross. And then say Ross is on holiday or Ross has been put on a different job, then I'll make sure that whatever's in for Darren is something that's manageable to him, but also gives him the opportunity to play out the lead role as well, which is really, really important. So, for example, the past couple of days, Darren's working just with him and their support, Cooper, who's with us a couple of days a week. And he's putting up a couple of sheds with him and Cooper, and they've got plenty of time to do it in. And all that needs to happen is that for Darren to give himself a bit of patience and take his time, and he's, you know, he does it beautifully. And that's not the first time. Like, he's done it in the summer as well. And, you know, I love it when they get that chance to go bigger by themselves, giving them their wings, as it were. So Darren's coping remarkably well in that position, and now they're about to embark on finding their third, which is cool. So so we've got a vacancy just now for a third deliverer to join the team. With the complexity of the buildings, for the sizes that they're getting, for the labour intensive part of it, there absolutely has to be 3 now in a team. We're very witness to that. We know what's going on. So so I'm really excited for them to see what their third member is going to be. And it's good to have 3, I think. We talk about pairs and partnerships all the time, but ultimately me, Dad and Grant were a 3. And I think we worked beautifully together. So I'm excited for them to see how that pans out.
You can see Ross, Darren and Cooper. Like me and Ross were out in the summer when they were doing the Kershaw's garage. And firstly, like seeing the way that Darren worked straight away, because I didn't see Darren a lot. Like, he was here, and then all of a sudden we're out in the garage in July, and I'm like, whoa, like he's doing a garage already. Like, geez, and like he's done it forever. Like it was crazy. But even like Ross, Darren and Cooper working together, like they done a brilliant for a garage. It was like, that was the big thing in my head, was just like, I can't believe that these 3 guys are putting up a garage, because from what I remember when I first started, what it seemed like well, and it still is, like, garages are a huge deal, and you had to be careful about who was going on these buildings, because you did want it to be like right, because they're big valuable buildings. Same with Blackstone Garden Rooms. But the 3 of them, like Cooper, who is coming in for who's helping us out and is doing work experience and stuff at the same time. And then Darren, who had only been with us for 6 months,
and then Ross leading them,
and I was just like, wow, like already, like, that's insane.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I think Ross got his badge, as it were, in April, at the sort of like April, May time of this year, which was just like his like official like acceptance into, yes, you are absolutely lead on garages from here on, type of thing. And I love that, again, the permission that it gives them when they get to do it by themselves and see how well they succeed. Like, it's beautiful. And I think, like, if you were to say to like Ross and Callum, like, you know, 3 years ago, like, could you imagine what this would be like and how you would feel then, type of thing? Like, it would be just like in terms of reflection and comparison to 3 years ago to today, for example. They're doing all manner of things. They've got a really complex one going out tomorrow, for example. So it's exciting for them. And as we know, like, we've talked about the delivery role before, about just like how enduring it is, like how complex and difficult it is to be that solo on a daily basis, to obviously have support, but the safety net is just you. You are your own safety net, and Ross does it impeccably well. I'm just, as I say, like, him and his team, the way that him and Darren have taken this challenge on from a position where Callum had run it for so many years, and now it's theirs. Like, I am excited for their third person, for them to have that sort of appreciation. Like, yes, your work is fucking hard, and yes, you should have 2 full-time members of staff underneath you as the leader out on site, without a doubt. But there's so much support that we have in the office and the workshop. Like, the delivery teams always seems to be like the smaller of everything, but the most crucial. And it's wild that that's the thing. But,
because they're the end point. Like, they're the ones that bring it all together. So like, you've got the way, like, your regiment and the workshop and stuff, and how that runs, and then as soon as the guys get out on site, from what I understand, they're faced with like a multitude of things, between like, it could it might be the weather, it might be traffic, it might be the building set up for the day, like, and because there is no blueprint. We've spoken about this before. There's not a blueprint. Like, there's things that happen and they have to be able to problem solve in that moment. There is the site. Like, you know, you could get the best information in about the site, but sometimes when they get out there, it's not what it's made out to be. So they have to navigate that. So it's not just a matter of them just putting up the buildings. It's they have to constantly problem solve around all these challenges that they're having constantly. And to do that, at the intensity that they do it 5 days a week is like kudos to them. Like, really kudos to them, eh? I think, like, there's another good side of their job is, like, you get to... This is the bit that I like about the job. Like, they get to go on an adventure.
Yes, daily.
I love it. Aye, to be able to go on... Because when me and Ross go out and see them, like, yes, it's an adventure today. I don't know if they see it like that, but,
I think
like...
They must.
Yeah.
There has to be something freeing about going to different places every single day.
Yeah.
And not being stuck in the same place all the time. So, like, there is benefits for sure. And it's just about your sort of a mindset. Like, are you like an outdoors free bird, or are you wanting to have the consistency and the exact spacing every day? Like, you know, you're one or the other, really. And I mean, you can hybrid in between the two of them. When we talk about Dean's role, for example, Dean and Aaron, they're partly in the workshop and partly out on site, and they've got a good balance. But you can see them leaning more and more to the outdoor because, I don't know, just I think also a bit of sense of freedom as well, because they're out there making decisions by themselves as well. So yeah, it's a different world. There is a whole lot of responsibility in terms of the delivery department. You know, they are silos from the rest of the organisation because they are so remote and out on field all the time. So they do need to feel like they belong. And I think, like, the belongingness is important to me to signify that I trust them and I respect them. And so when it comes to allocation of Gillies Mackay vehicles and tools and everything that they need for making sure that they can do the best job, like that to me is a big moment for them. So normally in the trade, what typically happens is that you build up your own set of tools, and you get them passed down by your dad or your granddad or your granny or whoever had the tools before you, and like you've got an eclectic mix of all this sort of stuff from years gone by, and you sort of it's a tradie thing to do, is to have your own set of tools. Now, I'm very well aware of, like, the benefits of what is perceived here as a Gillies Mackay employee, but I'm also very well aware that it's not necessarily the pay packet. And so when it comes to giving these guys their identity in terms of, like, who they are for G&M, I feel that it is my responsibility to kit them out properly. They come to us unlearned and they do all their training with us. And quite often they're coming from places where it's not a passed down generational tradie environment. And they might be the first. And so setting them up is important to me. So when they get to a certain point in their progress, they get allocated their own tools. And that's a big deal. They start out with a couple of bits and pieces that they need, and then they get to a stage where they get their own box and everything that's in there is for them and it's all got their names on it. And that's part of the sort of, like, on-site delivery team. It's a kind of, like, celebration of them. And at that point, it's like they get their branding, which is their vehicle. So they've all got an assigned or designated van. And that's where they get their name across the back of the van. So Ross has got Ross's van on the back of his. And Darren got his initiation, his welcoming with his tools just a couple of months ago. And he's due to get his van branding as well. And I mean, it's just a little thing, but these are the things that really matter in terms of their identity when they come to work, like, that really, you know, have belonging and signify who they are, and give them that honor, you know. So
It's like their own space as well. Like
Yeah.
you're within this team, but also here, this is your space.
yeah, my van,
Yeah,
my
that's
tools.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. Because me and Cass talk about it quite a lot in the office. Like we like our own stationery.
Yeah,
It's just a thing.
Yeah,
In terms of I totally get that. Like in terms of their identity and stuff,
Yeah.
like it's such a cool thing to have for them. In terms of like, and it's responsibility as
Yes,
well. It's
it
just
is.
like, look, you're in this extremely important role.
Yeah.
This is everything that you need to be able to do that role.
Yeah.
Like this is your stuff. Look after it.
Yeah.
Like and look after it well. And you'll soar.
Yeah.
Aye, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ross and Daz.
Aye.
Yeah.
Couple of crackers.
Like, I've got the vision for the next few years. Like, and they've got their third person coming in. Do you see any more for them, like, in the next, like, say, 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, there's development that I want to do across all departments.
Yeah.
But for absolute certain, like there is a deficit for the deliverers.
Yeah.
I want them to have their own space. Like when it comes to the yard and when it comes to where all their stuff's kept, even just where their vans are kept and stuff like that. Like I really want to give them a proper belonging space down there. I feel like they are sort of like pushed pillar to post quite a bit. You know, the priority is whatever has been made in the workshop and or the stock of wood that we have, and then they just kind of have to fit around that. I'd love to have them a proper station where they can wash their vans, where they can look after their tools and equipment properly, where their vehicles can be undercover. Just honestly, just making them a wee home, basically. Yeah. I think that's what's missing for them, and I want Ross to have pride in his place. I know, like he's going to keep it a certain way. Like that's important to him, and then he teaches his team to do the same. And yeah, so the next sort of 2 to 3 years, we know what we're up against capacity wise, and the workshop, the deliverers are ready. It's the workshop that are the bottleneck at the moment. They're 100% ready for what I'm going to throw at them, and I know that they're going to be able to handle it beautifully.
Big jobs ahead.
Big jobs.
Yeah. Fabulous. That's us for today's episode. If you want to hear more behind the scenes Gillies Mackay stories, make sure to subscribe. And if you've got any questions or you want us to go deeper on anything that you hear in our episodes, make sure to comment below or email us at hello@NattyShedLife.com. See you next week. This episode's all about Ross and Darren.
It's all about Ross and dying.
Yes, dying. We're all dying.